Yes. Yet again, another card that I don't think has ever been a star player for me. Similar to the Two of Wands in that sense. It's one of those cards that comes up a lot. It does a good job. It has its voice, but I can't honestly think of a kind of a big moment that I've had with the Three of Wands. But what do you make of it traditionally, Sharon?
Well, traditionally, I had learned that it was waiting for your ships to come in.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
And I've been yelled at for that, that those ships are going out. But that doesn't mean those ships are going out, but it doesn't mean he's not waiting for them to come back. I mean, with their cargo, he's just going to be waiting for a long time. Kind of how you see things. But traditionally, he has set those plans in motion. I love how the Ace of Wands, or as you were, the Suit of Wands, actually follows a story up to a certain point. Spark of idea for the Ace, planning of ideas for the two,
Yes.
setting those ideas into motion. You're at that stage where you're finally putting everything into action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's pretty much what I got from it as traditional meaning as well. Other keywords that I kind of got was visionary. Did you get that one? Did you have that when you were learning it?
I think for me, with learning it, visionary was more towards the Two of Wands.
Yeah, I saw it as him, or somewhere along the line. He's looking out over quite a sort of an empty sort of slate and looking at what he could contribute to it or what it could bring to him. So in that, whereas this is like the two is like planning, this is almost kind of like contemplating what could be gained from this. It's kind of it's awaiting what can it be filled with, or what could it bring into him.
Like surveying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he's come down from his high building and he's now actually at the sort of seashore, where so he's kind of taken sort of steps towards it actually happening. And the fact that the two ones have now become three ones. Three is, to me, I mean, I'm not a numerologist by any sort of stretch, but I feel like three almost creates a sort of like two. If you join two dots, you've got a line. If you join three dots, you've got a triangle. So you've got a container, something that could be filled. That's what I'm kind of getting from the fact that it is a three.
Yeah.
That there's a sort of receptacle there.
That's a
I
more
mean,
solid base too. I know that fours numerologically are more stability, but
yes,
three, that triangle has that solid basis to it. And they
yes,
are kind of set up. And then he set them into the ground. Um, if you look at the card, those sticks are in the ground. There's even kind of little mounds around them where he's puffed up the dirt to hold them solid.
yeah.
So they have a stability to them where he's actually started building.
Do you think he's letting people know that he's there?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Red and green. Hi. It's like, can't miss me.
he has got his back to us, so maybe he just wants to go with his own plan and his own ideas, and is not kind of wanting to listen to sort of what anyone else has to say.
I think he's past the stage of taking advice.
Yeah.
That might have been part of his planning, but now he's actually planting and putting into motion everything. So he's past the stage of taking advice. So, and he's
Yeah.
confident. I mean, look at his body posture. He's upright. He's like, yeah, I got this. He knows those ships are going to come back. It's just a matter of when.
Do you actually sort of feel there's enough definition between the 2 and the 3?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've gotten that question actually quite a bit. The 2 is the taking of the advice, the taking into consideration how he's going to move forward. The 3, he's moving forward.
Right.
He's actually, I mean, he's set those ships off, he's planted those wands in the ground. He's past the planning stage. He's in the beginning stage. This is that first year or two that every company will dread, because this is where what makes or breaks you. But
Right.
he's put so much thought into it and consideration into it that he's ready to move forward. In fact, he's already started moving forward.
Yeah.
He's launched those ships. Yeah, there's definitely a difference between them.
And how do you see it in reverse?
Delays, setbacks. Um, I'm just gonna say it backwards, a flustercluck of a beginning.
Right.
that yeah, those ships are never gonna come back because you didn't put enough into it, or you didn't look at the weather report to see when the
Right.
hurricanes were going to be hitting the seas. Little things, you know. I would, if it were in the reverse and there were any travel involved, I would definitely say look at weather reports, especially if there were
Yes.
water
Yes.
involved.
Yes. 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 Yeah. Or you're just going to be in for like a very, very sort of like long wait. Maybe now is not the right time. Maybe this project needs to be put on hold for a bit.
And that could go for relationships. It could go for any type of
Yeah.
reading.
Oh yes.
Yeah, don't get stuck in the rut. I'm not talking to you, Mandy, but don't get stuck in the rut of thinking this could only be entrepreneurial or business wise, relationship wise. You know, think about somebody who went to Vegas and met somebody and got married at the Elvis Chapel, and they're stuck with this person for the rest of their life or until they can afford a divorce. You know, put thought. He did something recklessly, I think.
There's something about this card that is saying there are other ships in the sea. There are other fish in the sea. There's other things out there. Do you
Mm.
know what I mean? Like you don't necessarily have to put all your eggs in one basket, and that could even be in the upright.
That definitely, absolutely, because if you look at the card closely, he sent out 3 ships. There's
Yeah,
one to his left, and then there's one between the two.
yeah, I could
Yep.
say.
So
Yeah,
he sent out 3 ships. So he did not put all of his cargo onto one ship. He
yes.
definitely separated it. He is completely prepared.
It does look a little bit like okay, so I'm on Tinder at the moment. There's one person that I am sort of currently sort of like talking to, but there's a couple of others that I do occasionally message as well, and I'm just going to see what they come back with. It's like, no, I'm not just chatting to one person.
And you're looking over the whole horizon, so
Yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
like that. That's
Very,
perfect.
it's very easy to interpret this when it comes to like relationships.
And then you got the sticks. So is that Tinder?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
Throw the stuff on the fire.
Funnily enough, if somebody was looking for love and it was like, how is this person going to meet someone? And I'd got one of the wands cards came up, I would actually kind of consider that maybe they do need to be chatting to sort of various people online. It does feel very Tindery in a relationship reading. And I'm sure that Pamela did not have Tinder in mind when she did this in 1909 or whenever it was, but you know.
Well, if you think about it, wow, I need to find a new word. So,
Right.
but okay, so when the tarot was made, it was 1909. Completely different world than we live in now, technologically, culturally, a lot of different things. But the tarot evolved. Well, the first public tarot was 1909. Tarot itself was been around for already quite a long time. It was a game, a card game. It evolved with the Taya into a divination system. And the tarot continues to evolve into something that works. It changes with the time. It's almost like intuition itself. It evolves into what it needs to be for the times we live in, which
Absolutely.
so she may never have thought of Tinder, but because it's part of our world, it's absolutely correct to see that in the cards. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't ignore internet dating. I mean, the world exists because people get together, and that is, Tinder or whatever. I'm using Tinder as an example, but any of those dating sites, that is a very major way of people meeting someone now. You can't
Mhm.
not have that in the tarot. And I kind of like feel, well, the suit of wands lends itself to it. That doesn't mean every time a wands card comes up, that's what it means. But if that's what the reading is about, it's a possibility that it's saying you'll meet someone online, but you know, look further afield. Like keep your options open. There's quite a few possibilities out there for you.
Yeah. And he's looking across that bay. I would say it
Exactly.
was an ocean, but there's land on the other side. So he's looking across the bay, across the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look further afield would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Play the field.
If you had if you were doing a reading and someone said, is he seeing another woman? Right. Let's just say, I mean, not being funny, that does come up a lot in readings. Is he seeing another woman or is she seeing another man? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Right. Is the person that I'm kind of investing my emotions into cheating on me? And that came up for what he's doing. How would you say he's looking? He's definitely got an interest in other people.
He's got his back turned to us. He's
Yes,
looking. He's
yeah,
looking.
I would say as well.
But let me say, just I don't do cheating readings. I know they come up a lot. But for me, I feel like I'm going into the reading biased, just asking that particular question. So I try to reword it with the client to if they're more
Yeah,
comfortable with what's he thinking about me or is he into me? I don't try to involve or imply that there's another person because I feel like for me it's biased. Everybody's different. But if
it
this card came up,
depends how you word it. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, yeah. So if this card came up, even with the way I had worded it, this would definitely be like, he ain't looking at you. He's not interested in you. He's
No.
definitely looking for something
I would say on
better.
the two as well. It's like he's looking elsewhere on
Yeah.
both of those. On
Yep.
both of those, I'd again. It depends on exactly the question that you're asking. That card specifically is answering the card position. But even though I would say they are in the upright position, both quite positive, kind of moving forward cards. They could be suggesting somebody moving forward, but away from you
Right. Right.
towards other appealing things. You've got to consider the question.
Yeah, absolutely. And him moving forward might not always be good for the client, him or her, but it's obviously the best thing for him. And eventually I would say, even though it would hurt, the best thing for the client to know that there was somebody with a roving eye.
Well, I've had, I don't mind doing cheating sort of readings.
Everybody's different.
I've done a lot, but I've had a lot of instances where the person has said afterwards, I knew it. I absolutely, you've just confirmed what I knew anyway.
Yeah. So if somebody asks, if you do answer a question like that, don't pussyfoot around. Mandy, you do it right. Yeah, this is how it is. We never pussyfoot or sugarcoat. You can soften by being empathic or sympathetic, but don't change the answer just because you're afraid somebody doesn't want to hear it. Because a lot of times they already have their own intuition, or they already know the answer and they just need you to verify it.
Yeah. But I would not ask a cheaty sort of question without the client either asking me to ask it or saying, yeah, actually, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I think you should ask it. I would never take them by surprise.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Now, did you say you had a 3 of Wands story?
I did, and it's already flown out of my head.
Oh no!
Really, I think it's more of a dispute, and I touched lightly on it in the beginning. Is people get yelled at nowadays for saying that he's waiting for his ships to come in, and those ships are going out, and yes, those ships are going out, but I believe he sent them out, and you don't send a ship out just to send them out and never see them again. You want them to come back with some sort of cargo. So if anybody tells you, no, those ships are going out, not coming in, he's still waiting for the results. There was just a dispute. I mean, I have been yelled at for saying that, and I just wanted to say that it's a matter of perspective. Those ships are going to be coming back. He's just going to be waiting longer. And usually when you're waiting for your ship to come in, it's wishful thinking.
Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true.
Yeah. So in this case,
have you got another 3 that you wanted to show? Show this to me, yeah.
And it's the 3 of Wands from Baba Studios Victorian Romantic. Look, it's got some bling. It's cold cast. It's the 2nd or 3rd edition. I'm surely trailing off the screen. But I love this card because you don't see the ships. You don't even really see the ocean. You just see that there is some water involved. But it's like he's giving a parade. He's giving a joyous sound, either for sending them off or for them returning. We don't know. But this is actually a celebration of what he's accomplished thus far. And I do believe, and I think you'll agree with me on this, even when you get to the point of where you actually begin, like you're past the spark of creation, you're past the planning, where you actually begin, when you launch a project, there should be a celebration that you saw it through to that point. You know what I mean? And I love that. It's much more inclusive and much more of a joyous 3 of Wands.
Right. Yes.
So
no, that's lovely. I've never seen that deck.
It's beautiful. I'll do a deck of the week on it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I've brought the 3 of Wands from the Wild Unknown, which is that one, which I'll take a photo of. Now, what I like about that is it's kind of my receptacle theory. It's like something is now kind of a container, and I feel there's a magical potion in there. It's almost like a sort of a cauldron. It's like all the ingredients have been put in and we're just waiting to see what's going to come out. That's how I see that image. And that is not what the image, that is not what the description of it was in the book, or whatever it was I read in the book. I thought, no, That's not how I'm seeing it. I'm just going to stick to my vision of it. I think that looks really, really magical and fascinating, and it's got to kind of like become something, and I don't know what that thing is yet, but this is the food cooking.
That is, I like
I
your
love that.
interpretation.
I
I
love that card.
That is one of the most, I've seen a couple of wild unknown cards with some friends I've studied with. That is the prettiest one I've seen, the most colorful one I've seen. I really like that. That deck does not speak to me at all. I've never had it in my hands, so it might be different in my hands. But what you said about how you see it and how the book explained it, love that you said that, because sometimes we're going to interpret completely different than what
Yeah,
the white book says, or the deck book, and that's fine too. I love that interpretation. I love that card. That's
I
the
think
first.
yeah, that stood out for me on the Wild Unknown. I mean, I might, as we go through these card meanings, find others in that deck that kind of I liked, but I really, really got something out of this. Yeah,
And it does look magical.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
So so there we have the Three of Wands, and yeah, it'd be very, very interesting if anybody else has got any Three of Wands stories or cards or interpretations that they want to share with us, because we just want to kind of like trigger ideas. We're talking about this, the Suit of Wands here. So, you know, if we can trigger our viewers into sort of action and wanting to share, all the better. Fantastic.
Hey, Ace of Wands. That's a really good way of putting it. Share all of your intuitive moments and what you've seen in these cards. Expand our worldview so that we can become better tarot readers too.
Yeah. And we're not trying to sort of like give loads of different meanings to confuse people. We're just trying to illustrate just how amazing the tarot is and how open to different interpretations, as long as the interpretation is genuinely triggered by the image that's in front of you. You are reading tarot. That's the
Yes.
point.
Yes. And there are times, this is insane, but there are times when the cards will trigger something, but you can't identify where in the card it was triggered. Amanda, you've experienced it with me. And you'll say, just say what you're thinking. And one of the cards eventually will tell you. But sometimes you cannot pinpoint exactly what about that card triggered your thoughts. Try to
There is that.
pinpoint it.
Yeah, I've got to say, because I teach the tarot, and sometimes I will get, like, as you do, I will get a student that will say something from a card, and I think, how did they get that from that card? And I will always pull them on that and say, can you explain what in the card made you say that? And they always can. So
Yeah.
what was kind of obvious to them was not obvious to me. And as long as it was obvious to them, it is the right answer. And, you know, as long as it can be justified. And it was like, well, the reason I said that was because blah, blah, blah. It's like, fantastic.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing what you can learn if you study with somebody who's never looked at the cards before.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, I've got some interpretations that coming up, Sharon, that it will make you crack up. That yes.
I'm looking forward to it. It's like, I know
Oh,
we're
well,
gonna have
that's
a lot of
really,
fun.
really great. And yeah, I look forward to moving on through the Suit of Wands. We've got Four of Wands coming up next.
All right. Y'all like, subscribe, hit the bell, notification, all that good stuff, and let us
And make
know.
sure you sign up for our mailing list so that you are officially kind of like, you know, a member of the Pomegranate Grove, and you could be made aware of all of our events, activities. There'll be discounts for things. There'll be lots of freebies as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that's at www.thepomegranategrove.com, and it'll come right up.
Yeah, yeah.
Right up with the little box to sign up for the mailing list. If you don't want to sign up, just close it and tell us to go take a hike, but check us out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a really good idea to subscribe. We will never spam you.
No.
And you'll always know what we're doing, so you can keep up with us, because we're gonna, we got a lot coming
And
up.
this is how we were born.
That is so how we were born.